Have you ever been to a resort where each time you think about your stay there, it stops you in your tracks and you find yourself taking a deep breath almost involuntarily? Yeah, this place is that good. Let me welcome any of you that might be new to the channel. My name is Kevin. I'm here to give you a self-funded and honest look at some of the best and some of the not so best airlines and hotels in the world, which I've been bringing to you full time for the past 4 years. Check out my hundreds of videos, scan the QR code, or click the link in the description to learn more about how I do things. This slice of perfection begins now. Trust me, I know what it's like to read or watch a review of any kind of travel experience and hear the creator, who may be making sponsored content, speak about how profoundly life-changing their experience was, how it was the pinnacle of all things good and holy in the world. Most of us see stuff like that and think, yeah, okay, sure buddy. It's that shared sense of cynicism that makes me feel the need to point out two things here. First, a very quick reminder that this review was not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. That means no money came to me and nothing came to me for free. The price that I paid is in the description, and no one at any level knew that I was visiting or would be making a video. The second thing is, when you're making videos like this, sometimes you need to speak in grandiose terms. I will do my best in this video to ensure that I'm just telling you exactly how it is. It might sound over the top and flowery and all of that, but if it does, it's because it is. With that, welcome to the Ritz Carlton Langkawi, the first of 4 resorts I visited on the island, and lucky for me, not the only one I will be speaking about this highly. To say that Langkawi is a hidden jewel in plain sight is an understatement. If you're not familiar with the island, I'll get into that in a bit. When you arrive, you'll notice that there is no traditional reception area or lobby. You'll be led to a seating area where you'll be offered some cookies and a calamansi coconut water, while the details of your stay are being worked over. For the checkout process, it's in the same area, but it's in a hidden indoor office to the side. I often film everything 2 or 3 times for resort reviews. More so for stays when the weather is not cooperating. But then usually I only use the sunny weather shots in the final video. For today, I'm going to show a mix since I think the property looks equally rich on a sunny day as it does on a gloomy and dark one. Opened in 2017, the resort has 85 rooms and suites and 29 villas, all nestled into what is believed to be a 10 million year old rainforest. The property was designed by Philippe Villeroy of Tropical Area Architects out of Kuala Lumpur. I've never come across the firm before, but I can tell you they were the correct choice. The entire concept here was to build a resort that resembled a traditional kampong village, or simply kampong. These are traditional rural settlements of close-knit communities, much of which are built around stilt houses. The key to these communities, though, is that they grow around and within, not on top of, the dense rainforest. And so designing a sprawling resort like this one is a challenge to finish and not look like a bulldozer was taken to the property. This was painstakingly avoided. The planning and building took over 6 years. Simply laying out the structures on paper took over a year, as there was a goal of not having any earthworks on site. If there were boulders or hills or whatever may be, they needed to remain, and the facility would be built around them. That care and attention to detail is why this resort feels as integrated and lush and has been here forever but is still new as it does. There are many hidden in plain sight parts of the resort, which I think are especially nice because they aren't necessarily needed. The gardens and pond area we just passed through, if it wasn't there, you'd never miss it, which makes its thoughtful planning all the more appreciated, I think. I had a Patreon who I suggested to visit a couple of months ago, and the best way that I could describe it to them was, Imagine if one of the densely forested six senses in the region went to finishing school in Kyoto. It's freeform, but also precise, lush and tropical, but also dark and mysterious. There's just a quality to it that is unlike all of its peers. The public facilities of the resort are centered around a beautiful crescent-shaped beach area. Before we have a look around, let's take a look at where we are. Langkawi is an island off the western coast of Malaysia in the Andaman Sea, north of Penang and south of Phuket. Despite the fact that there are some powerhouse resorts on the island itself remains free from over-touristing, as you'll see on much of the other islands and resort areas in the region. Langkawi is kind of to Phuket as Lombok is to Bali, the laid-back, calm and quiet neighbor. The resort is spread out over a small south-facing peninsula, with the beach where we're going to take a look at on the left side. Here we have the family pool, which is attached to the beach grill, which is open for lunch and dinner. The God's honest truth? Resort stays like this one would not be possible without your support on Patreon. So if you appreciate these kinds of unsponsored videos, please consider checking out my page. You can also help the channel continue to grow by liking this video and subscribing to the channel, or joining my YouTube channel memberships. Whatever you do, thanks for doing it. The beach itself is quaint, spotless, and sparkling. There are a few loungers and umbrellas set up, but I assure you there are multiple staff just out of view, ready to set up dozens more if and when they're needed. As we take a look around and then check out the adult pool on the other side of the beach, let me talk a bit about service. The service style here is fairly high touch, but in an Oberoi type of way, meaning that rather than always being there for whatever you need, the staff are trying to anticipate what you may need in order to remain out of sight, out of mind, or at your beck and call. After a few hours, you'll notice more and more staff, especially the countless buggy drivers, greeting you by name each time they drive past. Let's go check out my room. The rooms and suites are located in 3-story buildings, which have 2 to 3 units per floor. I booked the base level room, a deluxe rainforest view corner room, and was upgraded to a junior suite rainforest view due to booking with Amex Fine Hotels and Resorts. I've been speaking a lot lately about how too many hotels and resorts are fast and loose with the suite term, calling lots of more or less standard rooms a suite. In an odd turn of events, here they refer to this room as a junior suite, but in reality it does have a separate living space and is kind of a true suite. It has been quite a long time since I've loved a room as much as I love this one. As a professional nitpicker, I can tell you there's really not a single thing that I would change. I'll put up the extra bits and let you have a look around. The attention to detail is second to none, and the space is really just thoughtfully laid out. There's a desk where you want it to be, there's a seat to put on your shoes where you'd expect it to be. The room can be completely open from back to front, or closed off for complete privacy. Though it is referred to as a corner room, in reality, it has full windows on 3 sides. Eight years in most contexts is not a long time, but 8 years for a high-end resort, and generally the best ones, are beginning to think about a remodel or at least a refresh. I can't imagine that's the case here though, as it seems they've simply done a superb job just keeping things in great condition and refreshing spaces as needed during low season. As you may have seen the tarp on the building next to mine as we walked in. The bathroom, both the layout and the materials are beautiful. The near electric green ice jade marble just fits so well, and even complemented the Diptyque Philosikos products, the scent of which I'm generally not a fan of, but here, that very green note just fit. Layout-wise, it's actually pretty unique. It's not that often that you find a square bathroom which is using all 4 corners of the space. As we finish looking around and head out to the nicely equipped balcony, let me explain why it's taken me quite a while to get to Langkawi. I'd been here once before, on Langkawi, in January of 2020. It was actually the last pre-COVID and pre-channel trip that I'd taken. I was visiting with family and was trying to decide between here, the Four Seasons, and the St. Regis. From the information that I found online at the time, they genuinely seemed to be on equal playing fields, so I chose the St. Regis simply because it was around $100 less per night. It was a very nice resort, but on a fairly small scale. Layout and scale-wise, it reminds me a lot of the Jumeirah Muscat Bay. It was not though a resort that had me itching to come back to Langkawi. It just didn't feel like something that I couldn't find elsewhere. I won't be revisiting the St. Regis on this trip for those reasons. And to say, because of that experience, that I wasn't prepared for the resorts that I would find on Langkawi this time is not an overstatement in the slightest. Okay, for dinner there are 4 options, which is quite good for a resort that just has over 100 rooms. First up is the Beach Grill, which you saw already. Second is Langkawi Kitchen, serving up international, Malay, and Indian fare, which we'll see for breakfast. And third is here, Haiyan, their fine dining Chinese restaurant. It's in a unique, stilt house, giving it some truly beautiful views. If I was here for longer, I would have definitely planned a meal here. Haiyan is located next to the spa, which is more or less the most identifiable feature about the resort, and dare I say, a little bit of a marketing mistake. This is just my opinion, and I don't expect anyone to agree with it, but Marriott incessantly uses photos of their spa here to promote this resort, and I just don't think it comes close to doing it justice now that I've been here. The marketing photos make it feel a little bit gimmicky, these nests floating over the water, when in reality, couldn't be further from the truth. At sunset, there's a bar of sorts set up on the beach. If I'm honest, I was enjoying dinner a bit too much and forgot to film it later on. The last spot for dinner is Horizon Lounge and Bar. Horizon serves up a Thai-focused Southeast Asian lounge menu, meaning that it might not feel like it's up to the task of dinner. Portions are said to be smaller. That said, I found it really easy to build a really nice meal. By the way, this is the same venue that would serve food and drinks to the adults-only pool. I started with the pomelo and jicama salad with napa cabbage and torched ginger. It was stunning to look at and equally good to eat, 9.1 out of 10. Next up I had the crab curry spring roll, which was oddly plated on a plate of dry beans. But if you can get past that, you'll enjoy the flavor, 9 out of 10. Finally, I had the chili prawns, which they were kind enough to deshell for me as I asked when ordering. It was packed with flavor, the shrimp were perfectly bouncy, and the spice level was a hearty full-mouth medium, just like I like it, 9.6 out of 10. They have quite a list of gin and tonic, so I capped things off with one. Might also have to do with that $100 food and beverage credit. We'll never know. The fishing boats were creating what I've come to call the Southern Lights, and I just had a long walk around the grounds, enjoying how beautifully lit up everything was. The next morning, I was up early and excited to head to Langkawi Kitchen for breakfast. I say this every time I'm at a resort that uses black really well, or just uses black at all, but black structures in a lush green setting is like peak design for me. On the way walking towards the restaurant, you'll pass a small lounge as well as the activity center and a resort boutique. The restaurant interior is beautifully decorated and does what I think the Banyan Tree Krabi and the Regent Bali were trying to do for their main restaurant, but perhaps fell a bit short with. There were also some outdoor cantilever seating areas, which really made you feel like you were dining in the jungle. The buffet here was truly one of the better ones that I've come across. First of all, the sheer number of cooks and chefs behind the buffet, ready to serve and replenish, was, I think, unrivaled. And that level of staffing came through in the presentation, the quality, and the diversity of dishes on offer. I've talked about before how some buffets just seem to be all about aesthetics, just tchotchkes spread out everywhere. Here was aesthetics, but it was all just actual good food. In addition to all of that, there was also a small a la carte menu, which I sampled a few things from. There were also staff walking around the restaurant, passing some small bites of different items. My avocado toast on thick cut sourdough and my French toast were both top notch at around 9 out of 10 combined. Overall, for their quality, variety, and just painstaking attention to detail, this is what a 10 looks like. As you know, I never film inside kids clubs and just show from the outside if and when I think it can be done appropriately. Gotta say though, this is one of the more impressive kids clubs that I've seen before, from the outside at least. As we take a look at the fitness center and have a stroll around, let me wrap this up, as if you didn't already know what I thought. While I was here, I, hand on heart, did not know how much the villas were. $400 to $500 for the base rooms tells my content creator math mind that there was no reason to look at the prices of the villas when I was booking. But while I was here, I had the same thought a few times. I'm going to come back for at least 3 nights, and I'm going to stay in one of the pool villas, because I know no matter what they're charging, it's gonna be worth the price. To family, to friends, to Patreons, I have been recommending Langkawi in general, but specifically this and one other resort on the island nearly non-stop. I will be back, my wallet will be crying, and it will be worth it. If this isn't 100 out of 100, then I really don't know what is. They deliver. So I really do hope that you enjoyed this beautiful resort tour today. If you did, please be sure to click the like button and subscribe for 2 new videos each week, as well as 3 more Langkawi resort reviews coming up. I'll see you next time from Delhi for the start of what I honestly think is the most exciting full 12 months, yes 12 months of trip reports. As always, thanks for watching until the end.